What up, Dad? Oh man, he hit that Detroit thing. What up there? Ooh. Mm. All right, everybody running a little late. We are live at this moment. Just chilling. What's up, good folks? All right, waiting on Kurt. Uh, Benita, she's driving today, and Chester's getting a new air conditioning. So, Stone A, what's happening, man?
What's good, brother? How you feel now?
Man, I ain't making no noise, man.
Heard
It's
that. Hey, Cheryl, what up, Jay?
What's going on, brother, man?
Good, how y'all feel?
Everything good, man. Well, you know what? Yeah, I hear you.
Out there, brother, Dr. Sayso.
Yeah, man. I'm in the backyard, big ride. Boy, you come back in classic fashion and classic style, my man. What's going on, man?
Howdy, everybody.
Yeah,
How you doing, brother?
Yeah, we're gonna be missing a few people today. Matter of fact, I think probably House is either landed in Miami trying to make it. And Vanita's on the road. She just came on for a second. And I'm still getting the air conditioner installed because he has no air. But we're going to just go ahead and go on and move on and chop it up. Well, Sarah, what's been going on in your world, girl? Give us an update on your new venture of Dallas Cigar Week, Miss the host, mostest.
I'm actually missing a Zoom as we speak. It's going on simultaneously for the greater ambassadors of us.
Okay.
But Hotel Link is live.
Right.
It is the Fairmont in downtown Dallas, I believe it is. And tickets are live. And I can provide the info for that in the chat as we move on.
That's cool.
And then I've extended an invitation for them to come on after Chicago Cigar Week. After that, they'll be on Go. And also, for those that are interested, my dear friend who is now a Ghanaian citizen, just about, he is, he has an artisan that is doing handcrafted masks and ashtrays for those of you in the Divine Nine. So if you want your symbol hand carved and hand created, I will share that info with you. And he will be back in the States. He was literally just here and he sold out of the orders that he took before he came to the States. So he will be back in the fall. He comes for homecoming and stays throughout the Florida Classic, those Rattlers and those VCU Wildcats. So I'll keep you updated.
All right, that'll work.
Is nobody smoking? Am I the only one gonna smoke?
What are you smoking? What are you smoking, by the way?
This is the Apostate. This is the Apostate Feathered Serpent. This is a Candela.
Okay,
This is
we were at Destination Herb. Did you like make them a big old inventory, or did you just you found a place to purchase them?
This is I purchased last weekend at Karen Burger Spot in Daytona.
Okay. You said you did, J. Ferg.
Hey man,
yeah, she got hooked on them apostate cigars, man.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's the whole plan.
That's how it's supposed to be, man. That's cool.
I think they're doing a cut and light in the coming days with I want to say Tabernash, but I'll have to check that. But I know they are getting ready to do a cut and light, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be branded. Cool
All right,
dude.
cool. Well, Stoney, what's going on in your world, my brother? Give us
What's
an
going on,
update.
brother? Everything is well, man. Just getting off the road. Just came back from a couple of events we hosted up in Detroit, Michigan. Got a
Yeah,
chance to go up there and hang out with one of my brothers, rock star, over from Dallas, of
yeah,
course.
of course.
Mario and my guy Jameson. We hosted an event over there with the Herf Boys at VL over in Detroit, and we also went and did an event that Sunday, puffing in the park with the Pearls and the Herf Boys. So, man, I had a great time there. Really great vibe, great energy. I had a good ball. It was just a dope time. Like I say, everybody at the hospitality was off the charts. Real nice. Got a chance to run to my boy Smooth B from GTG. So, man, it was a dope time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Smooth out the hook too. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Yeah, what's going on with Chicago Cigar Week, man? We up and running soon.
Oh yeah. The countdown is on. We're a little bit over a month away from being out.
Mhm.
Like I said, man, we just got a lot of things in place. Just finished the early bird. We wrapped that up. I'm actually going to actually put out one last time savings. A lot of people was hitting me up this weekend, especially in Detroit, asking about the ticket sales. At one time only for Juneteenth this weekend. I'm gonna put the early bird pricing back up just for a couple of days for the weekend only. But after that, it's going back to regular price. But man, we got everything ready. We got all the different sites in place, the venues, all our guests. So yeah, it's coming together, man. I'm looking forward to it.
That's good stuff, man. Yeah, that's good stuff. J Ferg, man, what's happening? Oh,
Shit, man.
man.
I'm just here, man. Just got done with this move. So, I just the people's down from Georgia. So now we in Florida full time now.
Yeah,
No more back and forth, no more flights every other week. So now I'm here. I could get back to really focusing on work and got a lot of events coming up not a lot, but I got one big event coming up next month. But other than that, I just
right.
been working on, just working on Destination Herf and, keeping that momentum going. So
Yeah, I hear you, man. Working on some new stuff.
yeah, man, so I'm getting ready to launch something special, probably like another month or so. It's gonna be a little
Yeah,
different. I don't really want to speak on it yet, but we can speak on it off air. But it's something
yeah,
I'm working
yeah,
on
yeah.
right now.
Absolutely.
That's gonna be coming together in the
You know
very
that's
coming
gonna
month.
bring us to one of our points today, man. We'll get to that later, but yeah, that's gonna bring us to one of our points we just want to talk about today. Um, all right, good evening from the motherland. All right, Rich Mo, I hear you, man. Rob would be glad to see that and hear that. You know him, Rob? Nah,
Nah, I
okay.
don't. Not yet. There's
Right,
nobody that
right,
I don't know. It's just people I haven't met yet.
right. I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, what's going on in your world, man?
I
Second
am.
second week back.
Yeah. Good to see everybody. What's going on? Y'all looking good. On my
Benita.
break right here. You know.
Benita's on the road in that
Benita, what up,
18.
Benita? Yep. So I ain't
Yeah.
doing nothing, man. I'm just trying to put this kid through school. She my last one,
Oh
and
man.
try to make
I
sure everything is
saw that.
everything's going good. And I don't know, man. I'm just chilling, man. If chilling was a crime, I'd get life in prison right now, man.
Man, hey,
Staying out the way.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Well, man, I'm just sitting back here, missing, more my man Chester. He got to take care of some things at the crib, so all is well. Nice night out, pretty cool, but I'll sit out here and chill and smoke my uh what am I smoking? You know what? Actually, yeah, the Hoya de Monterey. Just was on the mute for a good cube today, and had them in there for a while. So smoking on that. What you, Rob? Do I need to ask you what you smoking on, man?
You know you don't need to ask me.
Yeah, I don't need that.
You know you don't have to ask me, bruh.
The crown, man. God, dog, boy.
I'm a creature of habit, man. I like
Stoney,
what I
what you
like.
got today, man? What you smoking on today?
Actually, just smoking one of the ones I got from Detroit while I was down there. 25th anniversary Rocket Patel.
Okay. All right, all right. Not bad. Not bad. J. Perk, we know you're not smoking in that new house. And it's raining in Miami, I'm sure, like you told me.
Yeah, I'm smoking. I'm not smoking yet, but I will be smoking this Lost and Found by Caldwell. Girls Gone
Mm,
Cold. So
it's a
Okay.
good one.
yeah, so that's gonna be my smoke for the night.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, man. Well, we uh speaking of some topics, me and Shar actually had a conversation about the cigar weeks in general, not taking away from anything or any of them, but when you look at the calendar or the list, there's really what Jay Ferg. Have you seen that list?
I've seen it floating around. Yes.
Yeah, and about would you say probably at least over 30?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, easily.
And it's more. It seems to be more and more popping up. Every time you turn around, there's another one popping up. So they're definitely there's definitely a lot of them out there right now.
Yeah,
Um, but I was telling somebody the other day. I said, while there might be a lot of cigar events going on out here, I said the one thing I could respect about it is that not every cigar event is the same. You know what I'm saying? Like for the most part, um, everybody they kind of finding their niche. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's important to kind of like really help move it forward. 'Cause I think if you
mhm.
start recycling the same process over and over again, it becomes stale. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we have to we have to be
Well,
innovative. Yes, and I guess I got to be a little innovative in terms of like what your offerings are because it's like I know me personally. This is just my personal preference. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what I enjoy. You know what I'm saying? And I
mhm.
I feel like as long as we keep pushing the culture forward in terms of like really putting the effort into like creating. Because people throw the word experience around, but I'll be honest with you. I look at some of this shit, but I be like, I don't see an experience. I just be honest. You know what I'm saying? At least for me. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I I don't want to, and I think I've said this numerous times before. I don't want to. I don't want to fly to a city, hotel, rent a car, food, drinks. Sorry, I live right by the airport now, so these planes flying over.
Yeah.
I don't want to do all of that just to sit in a parking lot of a cigar lounge.
Yeah,
That's not an experience to me because that's
I mean, you said something that caught my ear a minute ago, and you said that all of them are different, and each of them are coming into their own niche. I'm gonna say I had to beg to differ, with the exception of a few. And if I had to put, a survival rate, I would say probably eight of them will survive. And I got to put Chicago Cigar Week on there. I'm gonna put designated. I'm not being biased. I'm just being realistic because I think the time put in the innovation that you, Stony, Dallas Cigar Week puts in. Atlanta's definitely off the chain. Houston, yeah, I'm naming them. And North Carolina, Queen City was a hit at one time, and it fell off, and now they're gone. And now we got the other North Carolina crew in there. But man, it's. I mean, just like
not
anything else, people are gonna get tired of going to the same old mm, junction.
okay. So when I say
Mm,
everybody has their niche, right? What I mean by
mm,
that is
okay.
like, okay, so if you have if you have an event if you have an event going on in your city, right? And you have
Mm-hmm.
it's a cigar event, right? So when you have these different cigar events going on and you have I guess okay, I'll preface it by saying this. Okay, I'm gonna use Houston as an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Houston's niche is their concert, comedy show, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's their
Yeah.
niche. they're known for throwing the big concert, the big, comedy show, whatever. Right? That's their signature. That's their signature activity for the weekend. Right. Everything else, and I guess their white party at the end. I never been, so I'm just going by what I see online.
Right.
I guess their white party at the end is kind of like a big deal. But I guess for me, and I always come back to this, is there's events and then there's parties.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have to define, when we throw that word event or festival, and then you get there and it's really just, I used to be in the party business, so I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
If I'm coming to a club and I got to buy a table, I got to get bottle service, that's a party. That's not a cigar event, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's a party where you're allowed to smoke cigars. Versus going to like a barn smoker or what do you call it? Barn smoker or
that's it.
Great smoke. Things
great
like that.
smoke, things of that nature, where the focus is the cigar. Now, if you want to throw a great party and people can smoke cigars there, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think we got to be careful when we start throwing the word, cigar event, cigar festival around, and it's really just a party where you can smoke cigars. There's usually no real cigar representation there, in terms of like the brands, the reps, not the reps, like brand owners or whatever. It's like any other industry. When you go to, when I was in the music business and I would go to a music industry event, I'm gonna see, the Russell Simmons back in the day, and all these guys that's in the industry. Because when you go to an industry type of vibe, that's what you come in to experience the industry. But when you go to, this is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've gone to a few cigar events, and I've gone to them, and I've got there, and I'm like, all right, this is cool, but I didn't feel like I was experiencing anything special.
Right.
You go, you network, you smoking, you drinking, whatever, you're doing your thing with your people, right? But, and again, if that's your thing, I'm not knocking it. Run that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I just feel like when we start throwing these words around, cigar festival, cigar, events, and then you get there and it's really just like, I don't believe, me personally, if you throw an event, like, I don't believe in like, I should have to pay for a table or bottle service if I pay the ticket to get to this event.
Right.
If I paid for a weekend pass or whatever the case may be, I should never turn around and reserve a table and get bottle service and all that good stuff. Now you're taking it from an event to just a party.
You're right. Right. Right.
I think to your point, Jay, the one consistent bit of feedback that I hear or that I get told, particularly after we had our first Orlando Cigar Fest here, there are the purists, if you will, that really want to talk to people that represent the brand, that represent the cigar. They want to have those conversations and kind of see who's behind the smoke.
Right.
There are some people that tell me, hey, we went to the white party or whatever, it's folded into the itinerary, and they love it. So I guess it's just going to depend on somebody's ideal. Some people feel like, well, when I do the event, I don't want my patrons to come and just round pop, because they can do that when they're at home. I want them to come and ball out and have a good time, et cetera, so forth. And then there are those that are like, I can kind of do without. I may want one evening of that, but I really want to meet somebody from Drew State, or I really want to meet somebody from EC Cigars.
Mhm.
I want to say Conscious because Conscious is everywhere. Shout out to Kevin Brown of
Shout
Conscious
out to
Cigars. But you know, that's what I hear consistently.
mhm. Chester and we
Yes,
talking about
sir.
and
What?
Stoney, you going to say something?
Well, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just updating them on what we kind of talking about. We got into the topic of cigar weeks, hit or miss, lasting. I know Chester's been to a couple, and we're talking about pretty much the somebody got something going on there,
Yeah, I
but
think somebody needs to go on mute.
we are talking about the longevity. You know, I named a couple I feel would last. Some will fall off, but because unless somebody provides something very different, it's gonna be the same old thing. You know, every year. So Stoney, what were you gonna say, man?
Yeah, well, I'm just speaking from a standpoint because not only am I organizer of an event here for Chicago Cigar Week, I'm
Yeah.
also a consumer. So I go to
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, I go to cigar weeks all around the country. I go to different events. Uh, like I said, just came back from an event this past weekend, so I get an opportunity to see how other people do that. How they do their events. So at the end of the
Yeah.
day, for me, well, I look for certain things to take from them. But again, everybody has, like Jay was saying, they kind of created their own lane, their own niche as far as what works for them. Some
Right.
cities have more challenges than others. When it comes
Right.
down to certain places, like up here in the north, a lot of times we have more restrictions in place, so we have to be a little more creative with our itineraries and with our venues.
Mm-hmm.
Where some places, like especially south, wherever else, you go down there, you can have your bars with your cigars at the same place. We don't have to worry about that being a factor. But other places here, where it's pretty much just BYOB, you have to just make sure that you're looking at the overall landscape of what you're doing. So for me, like I said, being a consumer, I like to go back and see when I go to different events. I have takeaways. I will go back and see how it was organized, how the event planners and organizers, how they handled things, how their hospitality was,
Yeah.
how much focus of it was on cigars, how much focus was about the events. Because like Jay was saying, some of them are just more so parties, some are about the cigar. So again, it's so many different events going on around there, and everybody's kind of got their own lane. It's just pretty much up to the consumer to kind of pick and choose what works best for
Yeah.
them. You know what I
And,
mean?
and
And to that, Stoney, the logistics, right?
Absolutely.
There have been a couple where, people have said, okay, I thought it was going to be more centrally located, and I'm driving an hour to get to, wherever. So if you've flown in and you're not familiar with the city, or if it's your first time or whatever, then you're tasked with
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, and
So,
that's one thing. Like myself personally, I try to be mindful when I make my events, even when it comes down to my host hotel locations. I try to make things as centrally located as possible. When you're in big cities like Miami, Chicago, Houston, and so forth, it's hard to get everything in one exact area, but you at least try to get
right,
things in a ballpark area where it won't be so far where they got to go one way across town. You try to put things in a proximity so it won't be too much travel and too much demand on your guests. So you want to
right.
make sure you put them in a place where you logistically put all that stuff and plan it out. So that's where it goes into planning. And from an organization standpoint, making sure you're hearing the voice of your guests when they come to town. If that's one of the things they have an issue with, you want to make sure you address those things. So we put a lot of thought into that when we create our itinerary, when we put our venues in place, our lineups as far as the days and where we go and where we're going to be at. All that factors in. So yeah, that's definitely important.
And I love that. I mean, you take the time to do that. Not everybody's gonna do that. Not everybody's
mm,
gonna do that at all. Big Rob, you got anything to add to that, man? Yeah, it's not Rob's thing right there.
I see
Big
somebody
House.
knows what you're smoking and down in the chat, Rob.
Yeah.
Since you didn't want to disclose that to us.
I'm actually surprised. I didn't know Kathy knew anything about cigars, but she went with the Gordita. I was like, whoa, okay, that's good stuff. Well, you know what? We're not going to, labor on that too long. But we had, hey, Darlene, Rich Mo, glad you loving that 10th anniversary. And Darlene, appreciate you coming on. But man, so we just had here in Maryland, and I know we only got a couple Maryland Marylanders on here, but man, there was pretty much and I was shocked when I saw it. It came out on July 7th, and matter of fact, just to go to it so I could read it verbatim. Prince George's County, Maryland legalizes cigar lounges. So, wow, what does that really mean? Because we've had a couple of cigar lounges in PG County, in Prince George's County already. So, wow.
Well, for those of you that don't know, I know that not everybody lives in Maryland, but in Maryland we have Prince George's County, and Prince George's County, Maryland, back in 2007 passed the Maryland Clean Air Act of 2007, and what that did was that basically made smoking of any kind inside a business in Maryland completely illegal. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I don't like government overreach. This is a classic example of Prince George's County grabbing the ball and doing the most. And what they did was they basically made smoking of any kind of cigar lounges, bars, restaurants, anything like that, the Indoor Clean Air Act, it was completely illegal. So, my thing is this. I had to come back. I had to come back with a little bit of flair. I had to bring something with me so that I could go ahead and explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, exactly what it is that we're going to be talking about here. All right, so let me get this right. Legalizing cigar bars and lounges. Now, of course, this pertains specifically to Maryland. My man down there laughing. So, the Clean Air Act of 2007 passed by Maryland. Of course, Prince George's County, like I just said a minute ago, has to take the ball and roll with it. They're doing the most. You know what I mean? They want to outlaw everything. They want to, you can't come in here because I think they were one of the commissioners, their mantra was, their reasoning behind it was, employees have the right to work in a place free from smoke and irritants. My thing is if you're going to go and work at a fucking cigar bar and then turn around and complain about the air quality inside the place, well, then you should just go take a long walk off a short pier. So our next topic, it says our next subject is by legalizing something that should have never been illegal in the first place. Now, of course, I was talking about, the government doing the most and, them always doing just overstepping their bounds. This is another classic example of the government trying to save you from yourself. All right, we'll come back to that in a minute. So, but it shouldn't have never been illegal. They make you think that by them doing something like legalizing cigar lounges and cigar bars, they're actually doing something for you when they should have never been illegal to begin with. That's almost like reminds me of an old mafia saying. You open up a storefront like a pizzeria or something, the second week, guys come through, kids and stuff, they're throwing rocks through your windows and all this other stuff. All of a sudden, the mob shows up. Hey, you got problems with kids, they're messing up your stuff out here. I'll tell you what, I can make those kids go away, but you're going to have to get up a little bit of cheese for me every month.
Right.
And then they go around the corner and they split the money with the kids. So now they got you providing, they're providing protection for this. That's what the government's doing, basically. We don't need nobody to save us. I just need you to get the hell out of my way. And so here we go. Number 3 right here, what I need from the government. And when I need an Army and Navy, I need cops, post office, and then I need you to stay the hell out of my way. That's what if I want to go and work in a place that they smoke cigarettes, that's my business. If I want to go and work in a cigar bar, that's my business. But, you got the Federal Clean Air Act making it so that, all vehicles have to have emission standards and whatnot. Okay, that's important. I get it. But as far as like inside of a residence or inside of a bar or something, that's our business. You know what I mean? If you're over 18 years old, you should be, if you're smart enough to vote, you're smart enough to make your own decisions. So then here we go right here. Another example of the government trying to protect us from ourselves. And I'll say this, and then I'm going to let it go. You ever hear those gigantic fire sirens and stuff where they got the horns and it goes off every time the fire department gets, you hear it on here every now and then because I live across the street from one. Every time that I get on a broadcast like this illustrious podcast with my famous brothers and sisters on the right column right here, they always like to set the horn off. And the mantra, when I asked the commissioners in Charles County, I said, listen, why do you have these damn horns going off so loud and waking people up at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning? And they said, yeah. And I'm like, why do you do that? You know, it's not necessary. The firefighters have pagers and cell phones. They got the call 5 minutes before the horn goes off. You know what their answer to me was? So that the drivers on the road can expect to see ambulances or fire trucks. And my response to them was, if you're driving down the road and you see that big red ass thing in your rear view mirror with lights and sirens flashing, you know to pull over. And if you're too dumb to do that, then maybe you shouldn't be fucking driving. It's the same thing when you're working in a restaurant, i.e. a cigar bar or a cigar lounge. If you went there to get a job and then you're turning around and complaining about the smoke is affecting you or whatever, then you're just dumb. You're just dumb. You're just dumb. I don't know how else to put it. But you're making everybody else in the state and the county suffer behind the actions of a few people. And this is a classic example of the government doing something for you and then wanting you to give them accolades like they did something for you when they should have never did to begin with.
You know, Rob, I noticed that in Savannah, they strictly adhere to the Clean Air Act, right? So there's no smoking in any establishment, restaurant or otherwise. And then, you know, if you are a restaurant where you would be smoke friendly, you know, say if you have a patio or whatever, then there's a particular portion of that ordinance that you would have to adhere to, get permission, et cetera, and so forth. But oddly enough, they have 2 cigar shops there. So you can purchase the very thing that you can't smoke. And I actually saw our girl, friend to the show, Tanya from Gurkha. She was actually just there, I think, last week on her grind. But I've been up there. I think the closest, and we were doing a mobile cigar event for a club. And I think the closest is Hinesville, which is 27 miles south. And I think the lounge that was there, I'm not sure, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I don't think they're open anymore. It was a Black-owned spot that was actually lounge and kind of a pub type vibe there.
I was stationed there in Hinesville at Fort Stewart. It's right outside the main gate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right outside the main gate of Fort Bragg. But yeah, it's funny how, and just to kind of piggyback off of what Cheryl just said, it's funny how just like they were doing with the clean air or the carbon credits, where you could go to some imaginary fictitious agency and purchase, if you own a corporation, you could purchase carbon credits, clean air credits, you know, for X amount of millions of dollars, and it allows you to pollute more. Well, I mean, it's funny how they pass these ordinances, but if you have just enough money in your pocket, you could go to the right commissioner and kick them a little bit of extra cheese, and then all of a sudden there's a loophole in there that is made specifically for you. It's all smoke and mirrors, in my opinion. It really is. I was at 3-7 Cav at Fort Stewart. Yeah, big ups. But yeah, you know, it's all smoke and mirrors, and it's like I said, it's just the government trying to save you from yourself. And I'm not for it. I never have been. I think that if you really want to do something, you want to clean up places, you put signs out front so that people know what they're walking into prior to walking into the restaurant. You know, if they're smoking cigarettes or if this is a smoking establishment, you let them know this is a smoking establishment in the parking lot before they even get, you know, that way they can decide whether or not they want to go in there. And, you know, it's called being an adult. Like my man Rich Mo just said in the comments a second ago, it's common sense. It's just, but you know, you realize that common sense just ain't that common. So
definitely is not.
Yep. Rich is joining us from Ghana.
Yeah, exactly. And it you know, it seems like, you know, we've had a couple cigar lounges in Maryland. We had 210. I believe one of the ways you got around that, privatized Chester, if I'm not mistaken, made it a private lounge, right?
What you mean by private lounge?
Well, so you couldn't really, huh?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he did. I know that
Well, so you had to kind of make it a private lounge. I mean, it was like a cigar club lounge, you know, private area. I mean, because really
was never a membership. I mean, you can purchase the
you purchase, but you got to think about it. When he had it, it was a enclosed, the front was a retail area. The back of it had a door. And then you had to, get, through that door and then go in there and smoke. That was the private lounge part of it. Because Maryland at that time was not really given those smoke exemptions. It's like what Rob was talking about, that Clean Air Act. But now this gives you license to apply for the right stuff. I mean, and think about it. I really don't, didn't want to come on the show and do the name and claim it thing, but you take ladies first, and how, they're now closed down because of those particular things that were in violation before this came out. Now, if they were to do it all over again and apply for the right exemptions and this, that, and the other, they would not get messed with. And so now what it has done now is open up the door to be able to get your liquor license, to sell cigars, to be able to smoke there with the proper exemptions, etc. And then to get it the right way. And this guy even comes on and say, hey, now we want to be competitive with our neighboring counties, so our PG County residents don't have to go to neighboring counties to go and smoke. So
I think Privilege closed down too. I'm not sure, but I think they closed down as well. Privilege Cigar Lounge.
Who's that? Who was that? Was that House?
House.
Yeah, I don't think that has one or two things to do with like exemptions, because that was in Charles County. So
Okay.
We're talking about now the laws that changed in PG County that allows you to now do things and get the proper licensing to open up and stay open. Now I'm not sure, because they did mention to be able to come into a cigar lounge and enjoy your libations and food and etc. So I'm not sure if they're gonna give you the liquor license and now you got to have food, etc. in conjunction with that. But we now know that and I think now it's going to open up the door probably for a couple things happening in PG County where people want to start opening up, and you'll see more popping up, here and there. So it's kind of interesting, to say that now this is coming to around full circle, and I think there was a great push with the county executives and also a couple people that have been making noise and going to some of the meetings urging for change in this. I mean, there's still a lot of restrictions, they don't even want you to put a LED sign up that says cigar, lounge or whatever, I think I sent that to y'all. Y'all probably all read it, but even
and for folks that want to read that, it's on Half Wheel.
Yeah, it's on Half Wheel.
What we're talking about, it's in
and
Half
then
Wheel period.
The next state, which is Virginia, you're definitely not getting a liquor license or a, you can have the lounge, you can smoke, you can have the retail part, but they're not going to give you the liquor license. And shout out to, the ones that are surviving through the support of those that come in and smoke. But for the most part, unless you're really getting a lot of walk-in traffic in your cigar lounge to survive, I mean, it's really hard just surviving off the cigars alone. So, anybody else got any thoughts on that?
No, I agree totally. I mean, that's one of the things we have up here in Chicago is always politics trying to get involved with everything else as far as their day-to-day, everyday activities. Like I say, here in Chicago, they've made it to the point where you can't have alcohol served in the same place where you have tobacco. I mean, they'll let you do a BYOB, and even then you have to obtain the BYOB license. You have to go through a lot of hoops just to be able to get that done. But as far as selling alcohol at the same place you're selling cigars, it doesn't happen. They won't allow it.
See,
but you go right next door and they do the same,
Yeah. And that BYOB thing makes it, again, it becomes a private lounge, and they're not taking, you're responsible for, what goes on in that lounge, etc. And so forth and so on. So it's, I don't know why they put so many restrictions on, the cigar smokers, whereas the hookah smokers are loose and free
Yeah.
to do whatever.
In Florida, any municipalities cannot usurp Florida statute. The Florida statute is the rule of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wonder how Virginia got away with it, because Virginia, they have Babylon Football Cafe in Alexandria, and they have hookahs and cigars. So you can go in there, buy liquor. The regular club, they have bands. They come in there, and you can smoke cigars sitting right there in Alexandria.
And they got food in there too, because their wings are pretty good. Yeah, their wings are pretty good in there. Yeah, but yeah, I'm going in there and busted a grub, get some alcohol, get a couple of beers on a hot summer day on your motorcycle, and then roll right over to the other side of the lounge, and then lit up a cigar.
It's right. You must have went to the one in Woodbridge. The one in Alexandria, you could just sit right at the bar, light up your cigar, and smoke.
Yeah, I just kind of find that a little inappropriate when I'm blowing somebody's faces.
Now, as part of you guys' ordinance to post signage to be of legal age, because here it's required. We have to post signage that you're 21 years of age and older in order to legally have a smoke.
And, in Maryland, and one of the greatest lounges in Virginia right now is 219. I mean, they're doing very well. I mean, full restaurant, bar, cigar lounge upstairs. You can't smoke them downstairs, but they have a little private lounge in there. You can take your food in there and eat it, but you can't bring your cigars out to the bar area. Right?
And 219.
Oh, yes, you can.
Yes, you can. 219.
Really?
Yeah, you can.
That's my spot.
You can smoke on that second floor.
Yep, you can smoke right there.
And even up in the loft above the band.
Yep.
Okay. Well, and that's interesting. So why do they put so many restrictions on the other one?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to kind of take a look at Maryland. I mean, I don't know if this really has.
Were they grandfathered in?
But if you take a look, like Virginia is a commonwealth, and the way that they do things is very different than the state of Maryland or the state of Delaware. Pennsylvania is the commonwealth, so I'm sure there are things that happen in Pennsylvania that are similar to what happens in Virginia, but different than what happens in Maryland. So, I know that the passage of laws and so on and so forth, all that is very different. But, maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. I'll have to research that and break that out on the Fact Finder 9000.1.
We really, but we really need to research that, come back to it, and educate our audience because it really is kind of important, especially for those that even make attempts to open up lounges and make the fatal mistakes of spending their money, and then all of a sudden you get hit with this. And then here's the thing: not every one of those that are in those offices where you got to go file paperwork, etc., they don't know certain things themselves, because they tell you, oh, this is all you need to do. And then you got county inspectors coming in or DC inspectors coming in, and they say, no, you got to file for this. So, one office, it should be a flow chart of everything that you need to do to make things happen, to make it more easier, instead of, no, well, this office said this office said that, and then you're thinking you are right, and then all of a sudden now you get shut down for a violation that you didn't even know about, and without any warnings. So,
so Dr. Sayso, are you saying that we should give an overall generalization to our audience, because we want to keep everybody in the know, because that's what we do here on this podcast?
I mean, that would be
you
nice.
Want us to create a flow chart, complete with them,
we can't create a flow chart, bro. That's what it. That's like. Let me give you the experience with DC. So when Petworth Cigars opened, we got hit with one thing after another. I mean, we survived it. But, then you got people coming in, the biggest thing in DC is the smoke exemption. And here's the most stupidest thing. They asked you on a piece of paper to give you 2 years of receipts of your cigar lounge and retail sales before you can get a smoke exemption. How can you give them 2 years? So basically, what they want you to do is be a retail side first. Just sell your cigars, show your retail receipts that you sell enough cigars to be justified as opening the lounge, and you got enough traffic in there to sit people down and say they're able to smoke in my lounge now. I mean, come on, really? So you really can't legitimately, absolutely open up a lounge in DC until you give them to the form, the sheet don't make any sense because they're telling you, oh, we want 2 years of receipts first before we give you a smoke exemption. Now we got through it, we got over it. At the time, it took some knowing some people and getting some people on your side. It's just like Rich said, money talking BS walk, so it's crazy. And I think
per usual.
I just wish we could organize under what's wrong with joining Cigar Rights of America?
Well, it's a good place to start. And I think what a lot of people should do is contact them before even opening. Talk to PCA before even opening. Because they will give you everything that you need based on the experiences that they've had and the fights that they had to fight, and interceding for those that really did not know. But I think if you join them, me and Chester, we get certain emails, etc., stuff like this, and states that they're fighting to get certain laws changed, and it works.
There's strength in numbers. There's always strength in numbers.
Always.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's always strength in numbers. So I always try to
push folks who come to the lounge to join.
This is just $25 a year.
Yeah.
But you have an advocate for the hobby that you enjoy across the globe or across the United States. So I just don't understand why we don't push for something like that. Like you say, it's a start, but you can't lose.
I think we're going,
and maybe that wouldn't be a bad broadcast to have.
Well, we tried to, we tried to make that happen. We're gonna go through a different channel to make that happen, not the one channel. Chester, though, that's an inside thing between me and Chester. But yeah, we're gonna contact them again. We were supposed to do a show with them, but we're gonna contact the right person, so we don't have to deal with the one
right people.
Yeah.
Yo, exactly. I wanna. Why don't we do this? I got an idea. Why don't we nominate Dr. Sayso to be the president of the Black Cigar Retailers Association of America? You know what I'm saying? And then what we'll do is we'll have a couple of branches, and we'll have like the one branch where we retain a law firm that will do our fighting in court for us. Yeah. And then on the other side, we'll put Jay Ferg in charge of that. And what he'll do is he'll put together like a flow chart and roadmap for everybody that wants to open up a cigar lounge. He'll research your state, put together like a packet for you. You know what I mean? And you pay a small fee, and you can obtain that. And then once you become a member of the association, we should do it ourselves instead of looking to join it. I would much rather give you my money than to give it to some organization that really ain't got our own best interests at heart.
And you know what, man? I'm gonna play.
They like you ain't smart enough to do it. That's why your name says doctor in front of it, yo.
I second that motion.
Anything's possible. It can be done. But the thing about that is this. Then we dealing with our own folks. We know how things go with that. And not all of them. That's true. That's all. We got
Chester as an enforcer, man. We good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We bring my man down, Stoney from Chicago. You got a problem, you got to holler at these two guys. They're to say it all. You know what I mean?
I will say this. At one time, myself and Desiree from Drunk Chicken Cigars approached PCA about having more people of color on the board and to advocate for Black cigar smokers and retailers, Black retailers, because things are different on our side than it is on the other side. And so, was it a far-fetched, statement to try to get that done? We were told they would visit it. I think they did a great thing by adding. Can't think of her name right now. She was the rep for Grand Habano Cigars, Lisa Siegler. But she works in the capacity of other things. But I think we really need to either approach them and have a inclusive part in that, and or we could, like you said, start our own and do the research
and try to make a subsidy.
Make it a nonprofit.
Just like what Rob just said, if you create your own, they will probably eventually come to us. Asking us, because again, it's still strength in numbers. And I understand it, what you just said. You know how it is without folks. They're probably thinking the same thing. They're probably saying the same thing, but we don't always have to use that as an excuse for not creating the right organization. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. You can talk about what you would do, but it means nothing if you ain't tried. So I just say, just jump on it.
Absolutely, strength in numbers, brother.
Amen.
There's a bunch of different routes that you can go with it, but I just tossed it out there. It just jumped in my head, and I think that you.
No, but excellent idea, great idea, and you know what? I'll work on it.
Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that, right?
I know.
Y'all heard that because this.
I'm gonna put a business plan together.
Alzheimer's kick in.
Okay, so power to the people. So recap for our late joiners. I just dropped a note in our Dallas Smoke Fest group that we are live, so they are joining. So to recap, we're talking about the article that was just published in Half Wheel regarding Prince George's County, and Big Rob gave us an excellent synopsis on what the new statute means in terms of those that are in the brick and mortar part of the business as it pertains to cigars.
All right. Well, I think give me 3 months. I'm gonna present a business plan for it, and and we're gonna file it.
Yeah, do something that's going to benefit our community. I mean, all communities, of course.
Nonprofit organization.
501(c)(3) maybe or something.
And I got a smoking lawyer just for the legal part of it.
So that's how I get you to do things. I got to light a little fire under your ass, but I can make it happen, huh? That's all I got to do. Y'all take notes of this, because this is how you get things done with Doc Sayso.
Welcome back, Rob. Welcome back.
I love you, brother.
Your job ain't done because you let some crabs get in front of him. He forget everything.
Don't I know?
Look at him. And look, you said 3 months in September.
Yeah.
I'm not even counting this month. In September,
got it.
We looking for that draft.
All right.
I'm with you. I'm there with you though.
All right. Mm-hmm.
We will update the audience at large as to the status of where we are in that endeavor.
Amen.
And we're gonna do that.
Now, I will caution our audience from trying to steal our ideas. I already had one guy take my joint. I had an idea years ago, and now it's like a national movement, and most people have heard of it and know about it, but they didn't know that it came from me. But I'll let that one ride. But this one right here, this one is definitely Dr. Sayso, and y'all beautiful.
You know the first thing I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get the idea patent it right away.
Hey, look, every broadcast we should bring it up. Where are we with the? What's the name of the group again, Rob? What's the name of it? Black.
Well, let me see. The Black Cigar Retailers and Restaurants, or Lounge Association.
Yeah,
So we'll come up with some,
that
but we got to come up with a nice acronym.
With a cool acronym.
Something that, a nice acronym that's going to stick on everybody's tongue. You know what I mean? It'd be nice when Jay Ferg does Destination Herf. You know what I mean? Like, do it in conjunction with. Like, come on, that's like, that'd be the perfect launch party right there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying.
It would be.
Go, Jay.
We could have House get drunk and call everybody a bunch of names.
What? We come up with a nice logo with the fist with a cigar in it.
Exactly.
There it is.
We got some.
Just saying, you heard it here first, folks.
Now, what do y'all think?
People.
Well, you know, and I think we also need to start a coalition so that every cigar event does not run and coincide with other events. We have one massive calendar. So, you know, there's different departments that you can create with that so that everybody gets a piece of the pie. Because right now, you got you got everybody, and I'm not saying competing with it, but it's so annotated that what happens is that everything overlaps everything. I mean, point in case, Chester, you went to Queen City, right?
No, I went to Charlotte Cigar Week, and then Queen City.
Charlotte, but
it was just a week after that.
Exactly. I mean, but you see my point.
Yeah, but that would be hard to do because, you know, the time for having those events, especially in areas like Chicago, I'm sure Stoney is not trying to have a cigar week in January in Chicago.
Man, it's Chicago, man. You put them in a cage. You put two events in a cage, and only the best one survives. Two cigar events enter, one cigar event leaves.
You got to be careful when you say free shots.
My money's on Chicago, though. For real. My money's on Chicago and Stoney all day.
Well, you can hear in Florida. I mean, Jay has a perfect time because right now it's 100 degrees here.
Yeah.
I mean, so, you know, you got to be strategic about weather because, you know, here we're 6 months dry and 6 months wet. So,
and kind of look at it from the same point. A lot of different organizations and weeks are pretty much having theirs around the same time every year. Like say Jay has his around King Holiday every year. So you know that in January everybody wants to get away from cold, especially me coming up in Chicago. Love to get down there in the wintertime. So it's ideal scenarios as far as how you place yours on the schedule. Mine is always towards the latter part of July. So you have certain areas like Houston does theirs every Memorial Day weekend. So you just have certain places where you put in. You know, you put that on the calendar, and pretty much people know that time frame is going to pretty much be linked in that every year.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, we create an actual destination for clubs to come to. Like you've got, like right here in Charles and Prince George's County, you've got Smoke and Mirrors, you got Cigar Smokers United, you got the Good Time Gang. You know what I mean? You got places where, you know, these smoking clubs, they can look at a calendar, our calendar, and say, you know what? I'm going to Destination Herf this time. And I'm going to put it out there to the membership. You know what I mean? If you can go, let's go. And then they'll look to join up in Chicago. They're having theirs. I want to make sure that if we can get up there, we're going to visit Stoney and the crew. You know what I mean? They could plot their times out. You know, they have a place that they can come to instead of, you know, oh, I heard Philly's having this. Well, when is it? I don't know. Well, who do you get in contact with? I forgot. Like, you know what I mean? They can come straight to the source.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know, when you create that type of organization, you're eventually going to have a conference to educate all the folks. And that's just more power. When I say power, meaning a better voice within that whole organization or that whole community, I guess. You know, that's definitely what we do. We don't have to be a part of somebody else.
Yeah. And within that conference, then you can educate people the proper way to open up cigar lounges, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, and you know, it's a lot of work. Every state is different. Every venue is going to be different. So yeah, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on it. I mean,
all right, September. Y'all be on the lookout.
All right, brother. I'm doing it.
Dr. Sayso said so. We're gonna have to change your name to Dr. Said So.
Mm. Mm-mm.
You can tell he's thinking about it. That he got all
Oh
quiet.
yeah. Because I'm with my first step. I'm gonna take my first step, and I'm gonna file that with the patent office. Get it patent. So anybody thinking about stealing that idea, no, we ain't gonna have.
You can't steal it. There's no name yet.
You can always put the idea out there.
Yeah, but I don't know if you
And
could stop an organization.
what we're gonna do? We're gonna come up with the name, and we're gonna come up with the basically do the bylaws, corporate structure, the whole 9 yards, and we'll get it filed. So
to that end, you mentioned a great point talking about protecting your intellectual property, because as we know in this last year, some of our good brothers and sisters of the Leaf have run afoul of infringing on folks' intellectual property, which from a legal standpoint is not the best position to be in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll throw this out there on the backstage about one particular cigar that may run into some problems with Arturo Fuente. I'm not gonna put it out there publicly, but I'll put it out there to y'all. And Chester will know exactly what I'm talking about. Rob will know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, we'll wait to the backstage, but yeah. So just to recap, want to thank everybody for joining in on the show, the broadcast. Some great things we talked about, which started out talking about the cigar weeks, the various cigar weeks, and what will last and possibly what will not last. Hopefully, they all last. But I think that it will take the changing of some venues because, as you know, with us or anything that we do or go to, every year, what I've noticed, I'm gonna use Great Smoke as an example. It's always something different. I mean, he had a whole, a year of the Dragon. Sure, you went to that, didn't you?
I did.
And don't you find that there was a lot of variations to what was done this year versus what was done last year and previous years?
I would say
you the same setup and et cetera, but
yeah,
they always offer something great, something different. You come into the same venue, but it's always a different theme, different structure. It's never just the same old thing. And then there's always
and it's different dates for 2025. Just heads up, the 2025 dates have dropped, so it will not be in February as it was this year. It will be mid-March of next year. The week end of whatever that week is, March 16th. It will be then, as opposed to the last week in February that it was in this year. So, of course, in competition with that was, as Jay knows, because he was there, PCA and TPE kind of ran concurrent. So that was a big stretch for folks to go out to Vegas and then turn around and have to go back to Vegas. And so we know that PCA has also moved their dates and city. So not in Vegas for 2025. Yeah. It will be in Louisiana, in New Orleans.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a minute. Now you have PCA, which generally and still is a venue for cigar retailers, lounges, tobacconists to go and see the presentation of new stuff coming out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now PCA has turned into everybody going to PCA now, not necessarily for this, that, or the other. They go to PCA to hold private events, parties, et cetera, because they know everybody in the world is going to be out there, and then it's just one big overflow of people coming to the city. Jay Ferg, you went this year. under banner of Smoking Jacket Broadcast as the media. And I mean, there was a lot going on other than PCA. Am I correct?
Yes. So what's the name of the lounge out there? Oh God, what's the name of it? Damn it, what's the name of the lounge? Oh,
Was it Tap and Ash?
Tap and Ash. So Tap and Ash did a lot. They did a lot that week. The whole week they had different things going on. They had different cutting lights going on. And they did something that was actually pretty cool. They did an event where they allowed, they did almost like a mini for the boutique brands. They have a warehouse next to their lounge, and they pretty much made that like a little mini trade show for the boutique cigars to come out and showcase their product during PCA. The ones that, of course, didn't have the budget or whatever reasoning there was that they weren't in PCA. They created this space where they had different vendors in there, showcasing their product, not necessarily, cigar related product. They had some alcohol vendors in there, some up and coming brands or whatever. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, no, that was pretty cool. That's innovative.
That's a smart move. Take advantage of the crowd.
Yeah, so
smart move.
So for those people
they took advantage of another venue, made it their own, and provided a venue and space for smaller boutique cigars that could not afford to get or buy space in PCA.
Yeah,
which was
I thought that was pretty cool. That
that was great.
But I think with PCA too, another thing that's interesting is I feel like definitely the proximity of TPE and PCA being so close together this year, I think it definitely affected a lot of stuff because that was a short turnaround for a lot of people to be there, and literally almost like a month later you're right back in Vegas again. I think that was kind of like one of the things where they had. I think it was smart for PCA or whoever just made the decision to move it to a different time. I think that was pretty smart because that was
because one affected the other.
Yeah,
Minority Cigar Coalition.
So that's my point about all of these cigar weeks. One will affect the other, which is why I think that somehow, some way, control needs to be established with it and upon it to make it, more structured and so that everybody can eat.
Well, I think at the end of the day too, I feel like from a business perspective, I think we got to understand when we say everybody can eat, not everybody has everybody else's best interest at heart when it comes to that as well. You know what I'm saying? Because I personally would not do something that directly conflicts with somebody else's week. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Because as a courtesy, it's again, I've been in this entertainment event space for a very long time. And I know when I used to do events and people, look, it's inevitable. People are gonna see an opportunity. When I was doing Black Smoke, I'll give you an example. Somebody came to Black Smoke, they saw what we had going on, and they literally went behind our back to our host hotel and said, hey, we want to book all the rooms in the host hotel that we use. They said, oh, we want to book all the rooms for next year. Right?
The same time?
Same weekend as Black Smoke.
Wow.
They knew that was our host hotel. So that thing was all these people are coming from the DMV area, and they had people coming to them to book rooms and they called it, I forgot what they called it, whatever. I'm like, so you came to my event, met the manager of my host hotel, and you go behind my back and try to lock the hotel down for the following year so you can do your own event doing my event. I thought that was some bullshit.
That's some straight bullshit.
Agreed. Think about this.
All the time.
Which is why when, last month, when I said, hey, Stoney, so what's going on with Chicago Cigar? Well, reluctancy. I don't want to put it out there just yet because, you put stuff out there too early, people start biting and eating off of you.
Well, that's part of the game. I'll give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, they had, the Usher had his Lovers and Friends thing that was supposed to happen in Vegas, right? Mm-hmm. It got canceled, but there was already somebody else out there doing some other events pretty much the same weekend, and pretty much they were able to piggyback off of Usher's thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it kind of worked out for them only because Usher's the Lovers and Friends thing got canceled for whatever reason, but it worked out for them because now people had no place to go because the Lovers and Friends tour or whatever festival got canceled. You know what I'm saying? So that worked out, but you will always see, if you ever look, All-Star Weekend, Super Bowl weekend,
Super Bowl, yep. Opportunists.
They're coming. Those promoters are coming. And as soon as you start to make some noise in your respective city with anything, they coming.
Yeah.
And I think
no doubt.
But that's why you got to have your shit in the order.
Yeah, because they coming.
No doubt.
Yeah. I guarantee you somebody's looking at, after Chicago Cigar Week, there'll be somebody looking at it, oh, I can do this better. And they'll be thinking about trying to do it their way.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, that's how it all started with the first event, I'm sure. Somebody else said, oh, I can do this. And it is spread. I mean, as long as it doesn't coincide or has a conflict with your event.
Which is why every year you got to change the game and say,
That's
well,
like
you know,
it's kind of like Jay was saying, it's about a courtesy. It's about a courtesy, like not stepping on toes. You know, somebody does their event around a certain weekend every year to go back in that same city or something similar. It's just one of those things of courtesy amongst each other. So you wish you saw more of that, but some, like I said, they don't care the opportunity. So it comes with the territory. But at the end of the day, if you're coordinated, you got your shit together, it'll take care of itself.
Yep. You create the right relationships, and it'll
dollar signs are going to get in the way of everything.
Grow. It'll never grow if you got the right relationships.
Absolutely.
You establish the right relationships, that's locked.
And you just got some scumbags out there. That's just, period, point blank. I mean, that's what it is. You got some real scumbag people out there that will see you doing your thing, and they will go out of their way to try to, create the narrative that, there's something else out there, when it's like, come on, bro, like, I'm doing my thing this weekend. Why would you even think about doing that? Like, that's stupid to me.
Yeah. That's something you can get rid of. It's just something you have to understand. You got to deal with that. And again, it just pushes you to have your shit in order. And if you don't have your shit in order, you lose it.
No doubt.
You'll lose quick. You know? Everybody has an electric car now. You know, everybody's trying to make an electric car. Everybody. I know that's kind of slightly different because the government has gotten involved with that. Don't say nothing, Rob. Don't get mad. But it's the same thought process, man. If they see something that's popping, let me get some of this money. Let me get some of that. It ain't always about money. For me, if it becomes just about money, that's when it gets ugly.
Yep.
That's when it gets sloppy. When it's about the actual culture and the teachings and the knowledge and just the networking, and it's pure, it runs just the way it's supposed to. But when it's about money, that greed kicks in. It's bound to fuck up somewhere.
No doubt.
And to the extent that you don't want ultimately the patron to have to pick and choose. If they want to go to something one week, it's the same week as another event that's happening.
Yeah.
Typically, those events require, flight, hotel, etc., so forth. So then that, is a charge to all of us who are lovers of relief to have to decide, do I want to go over here to support because I haven't been for the first time, or do I keep going where I've been going because I enjoy that, and hey, I just won't be at that event because it's competing on the same dates, same time of the year.
Gotcha.
Well, that's what I was thinking, like, with the organization, whatever it is that we come up with, if you are a member of our organization, then you would have precedence when it comes to scheduling on our schedule. And if our schedule becomes so renowned that people refer to it, then they can see, you get first deference. You know what I mean, as far as dates and stuff are concerned. And these are, of course, all ideas and whatnot, but just something that's kind of rattling around inside this tin can I call a head. So
You're always going to have those that say, well, we picked this date because there's something going on in our city that's not cigar related, that, you know, in this municipality, we try not to compete with that. There's any number of factors that could be involved with why. And certainly if you've built up a following in a particular, you know, time frame, uh, then, those would probably be the folks that would say, well, we built this up based on this date, so therefore we don't want to do it.
Gotcha.
But that's always the devil's advocate to having formalized structure.
Gotcha.
well, that's what we got. That's what we got you for, analyst.
The analyst.
Risk mitigation. You know what I mean?
She's gonna be used greatly in this in this next 3 months.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
September.
definitely.
September.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, there's enough of us in the culture, in the industry, that can be great SMEs, stepping outside of work lingo, subject matter experts, to weigh in and pour into the organizational aspect of how we can get to ground on it, so that you have some fluidity and you have the ability to pinpoint a particular area and not feel like it's all over the place, because I think that this would be good for those that are just starting out. For example, Macon, I think, just had theirs last week, and so they're new in. So it would be good for them as a new city, having a new event, that may or may not benefit from guidance, if you will. I don't want to use that word loosely, but certainly, as opposed to somebody like Stoney's, event, Jay's event, you've got some skin in the game, in excess of 3 years or more, where there are established parameters. We're not just being arbitrary about the definition of pulling it together.
Absolutely. Right. And just kind of piggyback on that, because I've been approached from several different cities that are trying to get something getting organized, something in their cities, and try to do something similar. I mean, Jay knows I was at his first event back in 2017. I got a chance to go back, pick his brain, listen, but at the same time, you pay homage to the ones that actually set that foundation, lay that blueprint out there. So you get opportunity to see, network, and communicate. Because again, like I said, we're also consumers. We go and see what you have other people on. So I was able to jump on a couple Zoom calls with different groups that try and do things. They try to pick your brain, ask different questions, and I can appreciate that. Same thing. I would do the same thing with them. I've talked to different ones who I know have been established and done things for years, and I admire how they go about handling their business. And I think it's a great thing to do, to be able to opportunity and to network.
Yeah. And you're always going to learn something from the previous years. It's not perfect. It's like a fashion show. I learned early on, eons ago, that whatever's happening on the stage is for the folks out in the audience. They will never know what's going on behind the scenes, because your sole objective is to keep it seamless as possible for your paying patron.
No, exactly.
Well, I'll tell you, one event where everything that was behind the scenes came out to the forefront to everybody else. That happened to be Black Smoke. It was what it was. Yeah. So, well, you know what? Analysts, go ahead and uh, close us out with any opening closing remarks that you might have before we get
Uh,
into.
Closing remarks. Well, closing out this particular topic, there are multiple events going on. Why? Because it's spring, summer. Of course, this is the time where you should begin to ramp up and your push out for things that you have going on for midsummer. And Stony is well aware of that because his event is July. So you
Mhm.
can't wait until June to start talking about it. You've got to be doing your push at the beginning of the year. Um, Working behind the scenes with Dallas Smoke, we are uh, poised to do push out for that event. And so, given that this will be the inaugural one, because folks, we know that there's no such thing as first annual, it's inaugural. Just saying.
Mm, mm, mm,
So, just some food for thought.
Absolutely.
The
man.
analysts.
Stoney, yeah, boy, see. Stoney, what you got, man?
Well,
And let me
got a
say this,
go ahead, brother.
Stoney, first. Man, Chicago Cigar Week is picking up traction in the DMV, man. So, loving that.
Love. That's love.
That
Appreciate that.
yeah.
So got a chance to hang out with your brother Smooth B down there from in Detroit this weekend from down there in DC area. So I know
Ooh,
we got a night. Yeah, that's my guy. He's talking about you too, Chester. So, yes, sir. So
Yeah.
man, it's just a lot going on. Like I said, I actually got an event this weekend coming up with Juneteenth Festival. We are gonna be doing something with Common from Chicago. He's gonna be the feature. So I'm looking forward to that. But at the end of the day, like I said, Chicago Cigar Week, man, it's around the corner. It's about a month away from now. We got tickets still on sale. ChicagoCigarWeek.com. We're gonna highlight quite a few different cigar brands. Of course, we try to make sure that our itinerary and our calendar overall pretty much has something for everybody. And we're excited about what we're bringing together for people. We're gonna highlight some. We're gonna do a cigar and tea and coffee pairing, which I'm really excited about that.
oh, nice.
We doing some dope things. Got my boy Kevin from Conch Cigars. Of course, he's gonna be doing the highlight cutting light for us down here. So, man, we're just really excited about everything that's going on. I am gonna go back this weekend only to go back for the sale price for the early bird just for this weekend because a lot of people are asking about getting a discount. So I will be putting that out there again probably tomorrow, just for the weekend only. So anybody that's looking to get their tickets back at a discounted rate, this weekend will be
Man,
your last chance to do that.
can you tag me on
And
You're a
it,
we
good
should
please?
man.
and we should
You're a
say
good man.
that there are Facebook pages for these events. Stony
Absolutely.
has a Facebook page. And also, I'm sure on Instagram, Dallas Smoke Fest has a Facebook page and
I'm gonna
on
once you tag
Instagram
me,
and all
once you
social
tag me,
media.
I'm gonna put it in every one of them.
I was gonna say, post those for
Yeah,
Chicago Cigar Week.
yeah.
Absolutely. No
Once
doubt. Appreciate that. That's love.
yeah, once he tag me, uh, I will definitely post it in every page as I do this right here.
And
Chester,
shout out
what's
to
up?
Rich Mo, which I know he's probably not on because it's a different time frame in Ghana.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
dropped the information in the chat for those that want, if you're in the Divine Nine and you want something hand carved, reflective of that, he has put some information in the chat. He is on Facebook. You can reach out.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Well,
Love
we
Ghana.
might. We're gonna have him on the next one just to present himself.
Yeah, he also put some information in the chat about a brother that is opening a lounge in Ghana. And we know there's a
Nice.
whole thing and a whole movement that's going on right now
And I
with
went
in
down.
the cigar industry and the cigar culture beginning to burgeon in Africa. South Africa has really been kind of leading the way and pacing on that front. Ghana is right on the heels of that.
Oh
So
yeah.
we'll get
Oh yeah.
with him and we're going to have that conversation with him on.
Yeah, it definitely open coming. I was there about 5 years ago, and pretty much the only place you could really go was the place called Sky Lounge that overlooks Ghana over Accra, and just get a chance to see the city. And I mean, they didn't have quite the things in place as far as cigars. They pretty much is a bar and like a lounge itself. But they did have aspect of cigars, but now that's completely changed, and you're starting to get a whole lot of different people coming into that culture and bringing the actual love and passion about cigars, and they're really creating a whole different niche out there. So that's beautiful. Looking
I
forward to
would
getting out there.
love to go to Ghana. That is high on my list.
I got some
Well,
people out there, man. So let me know when you're
uh,
ready, man.
he's ready to do some
Yeah, that is high
tours.
on my
He is
list.
in the Accra area, so
Hey,
hey,
Rob,
enjoy
isn't
the
that where?
broadcast.
Isn't that where? Man, I can't think of his name right now. Where your frat brother go all the time in Ghana?
He's my
Oh yeah.
he's my mentor. He
God
brought me
damn it.
in. But
I can't.
God damn. Jeff.
It's Jeff. You're talking about Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff
Jeff.
Shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
And
man. Damn good
like
man.
I got a mask up on the wall with Phi Beta Sigma on it that they made for my birthday that he brought back for me.
He brought me back a
Dope.
nice bracelet from Ghana.
Yep.
Mm.
We got a chapter in Ghana out there. So
Oh, dope.
so
Okay.
I'm gonna go over and holler at my brothers pretty soon.
Cool.
I think
Chester,
Jeff
what you
might
got,
have dual
man?
citizenship. I don't have anything new going on, man. I just want to say support any lounge that you go to, just support it. Don't walk in and ask, do I have to buy anything? Support the lounge. You don't even have to ask
The
that
built-in
question.
answer is yes. Yes, you do.
Yes. I'm speaking from the experience that I get sitting at Cigar Palace. You walk in that lounge, it is not even a question. And I actually don't get mad if I give you the face like, what the fuck you mean? Yes, you got to support, because I just still can't understand how anybody can walk in and say, hey, I got my own. Do I need to buy anything? Yes.
And
Yes.
and
You need
saying
to buy.
that, shout out to Joshua Brown. Orlando will have the greater Orlando area, not in the outer counties. Will have a Black-owned veteran-owned lounge opening up.
Nice.
Grand opening
Nice.
is Friday. It
How we
is
doing,
called the
Tony?
Cigar Box. And I will be over there on Friday. So I am
Working on
going to get with the good brother and talk to him about coming on. He has a very nice spot from what I've seen. And so stay tuned.
Dope.
All right. Yeah. Jay Ferg.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm here. I'm just trying to get settled, man. Like I said, I'm just excited to be getting settled and getting back to work, and got a lot of big stuff coming up. Hopefully by the next show, I'll be able to make the announcement of the new project we are about to launch. Pretty excited about it. So very, very excited about it. But I'm just, like I said, I want to wait until the ink is dried on the paper, and then we could start working that and making that happen.
Keep your grind up, brother.
Nice.
It never stops. Never stops.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Can't stop,
Big
won't
Rob.
stop. No did it.
Big Rob. Man, I tell you, man, it's great having you back, man. I tell you. Certainly
With pictorials and exhibits.
Yeah.
That was dope. That was dope.
Yeah, but he went way back before PowerPoint.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The whiteboard still works.
Yeah, man. There you go.
Well, thank y'all for the flowers. Appreciate it.
Everything's
cool like that.
It was missed. People miss it. I missed it, man. Takes a lot off me. Yeah.
For those that don't know, I retired last year from the government, from DOD, and I picked up a cop job. I was running in Philly for a little while. I'm still up there, kinda, but I got a new job working with some pretty battle-hardened folks, really intelligent people. We're a small group. We can finish each other's sentences. You know what I mean? I feel like I found my last stop on the Social Security Railroad here. So I'm just chilling. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get in where I fit in, and I ain't making no noise. Everything is slow motion, and I'm just chilling with my people, y'all, man. And I feel like I'm chilling with the best of y'all. You know what I mean? The best of us is right here. So
That's
I'm
love.
just happy to be back.
Yeah, you gotta go to work tomorrow, man. I tell you gotta work tomorrow. Man.
Yeah, I gotta go to work, man. I got a kid to put through college, so
Yeah, nah, I hear you, man. I was gonna take a drive down there, man.
Well, you know, I'm free on the weekends. You can come on down here and help me work on this Bandit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll take that as a no.
Look, yeah.
Now, if you get some crabs, he'll be right by.
Hey,
See,
look.
Well, you know, I live on the
don't
water,
do
so
that,
I live on the water. If he
Saying.
wants some crabs, all he got to do is walk across the street and dive right on in. He can have all the
Oh,
crabs he
yeah.
wants.
He know I've been down that. I've been down that way before. Now they got some crap. Matter of fact, man, I hurt
Got a couple
myself
crab
so
pots.
bad. I hurt myself so bad. I was about to go to sleep on this couch, man.
And he
Hold
polished
up.
off all
Yo,
my
hold
Johnny.
up. Hold up.
And
Whoa,
he
whoa,
drank
whoa,
all
whoa,
my
whoa.
Johnny Walker Blue.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened? You said you did what?
Wait. Not that kind of sleep. I was just full, brother. Full. The crabs.
Okay. I thought you was
Yeah,
twisted.
yeah.
Never mind. Never mind.
We'll talk about that in a
Yeah,
few minutes.
backstage. I got a story to tell.
Well, yeah, that was the time to be had right there.
What?
Hey, look. Well, you know what? I ain't got too much to say because this fool
Hold
about to
up. You
like
forgot your man. You forgot one person. Oh, is he
Who else
gone?
we
He's
get?
gone. He's gone.
Oh
No,
yeah, good. He was gone.
yeah, his phone died. Yeah, so
Okay.
just to let you know, Benita's on the road. She's listening. Bless
We
her heart.
love
Prayers
you,
to her.
Dean.
Prayers to
She
you,
got to make
Queen.
it to. I believe she got to make it to Milwaukee, somewhere like that, and got a late start, so she picked up an extra load. So she came on for a minute, dropped off, and shout out to House. His phone died. So basically, he's in Miami, Jay Ferg. He did make it. He ran a little late, and got on his phone, so he didn't even have time to get his computer set up. He just got on his phone. Phone died, so he's probably getting ready for his work day tomorrow. I'm sure he's out there doing this thing. But I told him to connect with you. But just nothing for me in closing. Just another great show on what we can do. Phil, tell us who we got next show on the 25th. Sure. Yeah. Tell us who we got on the next show, the 25th.
Next show coming up, we will have Doctor, that is MD, not PhD, Oscar Rodriguez of GTO Cigars.
All right.
Good brother.
Come on.
The reason why we ask for everybody's address, so once we get them cigars in, we're gonna ship them out to everybody, so we can be able to smoke them on the show, talk about it, and so forth and so on. Right.
And he will be in between countries and in between patients, so definitely looking forward to hearing his take on all the things that have been going on in the industry, what he has coming up next, product wise, etc., so forth.
Good.
All right.
Good job, Cheryl.
All right. Well, look here. That's our show. We're gonna close it out. Thank y'all for coming on, and we'll see you on the 25th. All right. Out to the people.
Yeah, no doubt.